But I think a piece of the puzzle that oftentimes is not talked about enough is that quiet time. And so that ability to have quiet time in the middle of the day to also reset your brain and allow for a natural transition from morning to afternoon. I'm not a parent yet, but I don't feel like it's often used enough to teach independent play skills because it is so hard and it takes a little bit of work from a parent.
Welcome to We Time Convo podcast with me, Debbie, and Liza. Today, we've got certified pediatric sleep consultant Bailey joining us to talk all things naps, when they matter, why they matter, and how to make them happen. Let's jump in. Hi, Bailey.
So nice to have you back. I'm so happy that you're back here. We've had
Thanks for having me.
so much good feedback on the last episode that you're on, and super helpful advice. And so every time I look at so I got my Aura ring. So I've been checking my sleep.
Oh, yeah?
My sleep number has been like 70. I'm like, I better tell Bailey that I've been sleeping. I've been getting my 7 hours of sleep. And now I'm like obsessed with getting my sleep number up there because I feel a difference. I feel great.
And then you think about like a family not sleeping and they're just not making the best decisions. They're in that brain fog. Oh, it's wild when you don't sleep. It's such an essential part of being a human.
Yeah. My brother just had a baby. He just had his baby on Tuesday. So I'm an auntie.
Congrats.
And so I've been texting with him. I've been banned from visiting because I've been too obsessed with this baby. I keep saying that this baby's mine, and he's like, I'll let you know when you can come. But the baby's been home for a couple days, and he said, he's like, we haven't slept. This baby is like opposite schedule, and I'm like, it sucks to be you because I'm getting my 7 hours. So yes,
my ring is telling me.
Yeah, I'm doing good. So. Well, it's so nice to have you back. Debbie's here.
Hi. And
we're, speaking of sleep, we have the sleep guru here, Bailey, and we're going to talk about naps. This episode will be about naps. Yeah. So do you have any questions?
Actually, I do. So I have a daughter, and obviously when she was younger, we made sure that she took her naps. And then obviously as you get older, those naps they just go away.
Yeah,
right?
They do.
And then what I have found out, and it might be because I just recently got another year around the sun, is as I'm getting older, I realize that I need naps. So there is this whole evolution of you start off with naps, you no longer have them, and then as you get older, you need them again. Yeah. Yeah. And is that that's just a natural state as we
old girl?
I think so. I'm not certified above 7 years of age for sleep training, so I can't speak about our ages. But I even love a good nap. And what is a wake window? I could sleep for 2 hours and then go to bed at 8 and be fine.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's kind of funny.
Yes, it is. And then I've heard, obviously, we've all heard the term power naps. So I have a girlfriend that can literally nap for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that just recharges her.
Yeah.
Versus another girlfriend would be, I need at least an hour.
Yeah.
And so to me, sometimes the other day, it was so funny. I took a nap more towards later in the evening. And I literally woke up and I thought it was the next day because it was it was kind of like that sunrise timing. And so I woke up, I'm like, oh my God, it's 6 o'clock. And the reality was it was sunset, not sunrise. Yeah. And so it really messed me up. Yeah. But like I said, it's wild because as I feel like I get older, those naps tend to start coming back.
Yeah. And I think being older and needing naps, our brains are still growing. Our brains are still adapting and neurotransmitters are still reforming. I get into my OT brain, but we just need that recharge sometimes. And like the stress, life stress sometimes can be a piece of the puzzle too. So
It's important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk naps for the 7 and under group.
okay.
When do naps actually stop for children?
They can stop anywhere from 3 years of age to 3.5 to 4. It kind of depends on a kiddo's schedule and their environment. I have a friend who her kiddo is 3.5, and he's kind of like my outlier. I don't like to compare to him of like what is the norm, because this kiddo can nap one day for 2 hours and then go to bed at 7:30 and be totally fine. And then the next day, not nap at all and just have quiet time. And he'll do that kind of fluctuation of, well, he gets a nap every couple days. But then I have another friend who actually I'm going to start sleep training end of the month for nighttime sleep. If he gets a nap during the day and he's also 3.5, he won't go to bed until 9, 10 o'clock at night because it gives him too much. I call it bricks in a backpack, like that sleep pressure. So we need sleep pressure to fall asleep. And we talk about that, or I talk about that as bricks in a backpack. Throughout your day, you are putting bricks into your backpack and it's building on that sleep pressure. Those bricks are food, sunlight, play, rest, even a nap. Like you're still building on that to get to that full backpack at night. And then as you sleep, those bricks fall out and that sleep pressure alleviates and you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a fun way to like explain it to parents. Your kiddo's sleep pressure, their bricks in their backpack might be different to another kiddo. And it's just about figuring out what works for them and how to tailor that to the individualized child.
Now, I remember when my daughter Vanessa she loved naps, actually. She really enjoyed them. And it was great because I felt like it really helped her as, just to kind of get through the day. When she went to pre-K, they did nap time.
Yeah.
And then when it went to kindergarten, they kind of start taking that away, right?
Yeah.
And as a parent, I'm like, no, she needs that nap time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, come to realize that, hey, you know what? It's good. It's an adjustment because obviously, like you said, you need to fill in that backpack with those bricks, right?
Yes.
But I know a lot of parents that are accustomed to their kids taking a nap, and then as they get older and they're start integrating into just kind of, I would say, that school life, that starts going away. And I know a lot of parents get really hesitant of taking that away because they do see that. But it's interesting to hear from you that, hey, they can start doing that as early as the age of 3.5.
Yes. And definitely by the kinder age, that 5. But I think a piece of the puzzle that oftentimes is not talked about enough is that quiet time. And so that ability to have quiet time in the middle of the day to also reset your brain and allow for a natural transition from morning to afternoon. I'm not a parent yet, but I don't feel like it's often used enough to teach independent play skills because it is so hard and it takes a little bit of work from a parent. My OT brain thinks about all of my kids that have ADHD and they need so much support and they never or rarely learn that independent play skill. And so that quiet time is never really like integrated into their schedule or their life. And so it's kind of tricky, but I think it's very important.
So for before the ages of 3, how essential and important are naps for children before the age of 3, and how often should they nap in addition to their night sleeping? Or does it depend on their schedule?
Yes, it depends on everything.
Yeah.
On their age, on their schedule, their sleep needs. So off the top of my head, we always need 10 to 12 hours of sleep a night as a child. And even like adults, you could, like, if you get that, I'm sure you would feel great.
I would love
But
that.
our
Yeah.
our schedules, our society is like, no, 7 to 8 is normal. But kids need 10 to 12 hours of nighttime sleep. And then we recommend no more than 3 hours of daytime sleep. And so sometimes your 3 month kiddos, your 4 month kiddos will range on that 4 hour nap total time just because they're getting so many frequent naps throughout the day and their wake windows are shorter. But then once they get that 4 or 5, then you cut it down to 3 naps a day and you're still aiming for that 3 hours of total nap sleep. And those times allow the body to reset. And so the 10 to 12 hours of night sleep is for restorative, like brain growth, body growth sleep. But then the nap sleep is still like a sleep cycle is 45 minutes to 50 minutes. And you still get restorative sleep in that sleep cycle because you go through your REM cycles. And so it's just imperative.
Now, quick question for you as we think about naps, just because there's the group that says let them sleep for as long as and let them naturally wake up.
Yep.
And then there's the group that says no, let's give them about that 45-hour window
And that'll
to wake them up.
Yeah.
So is there a preference and the pros and cons of either one?
I think it's based on your kiddo. I mean, individualized plans and what works best for you. Every kid is going to be different. There's no certain cookie cutter. I love a good schedule just because I know that it helps teach kids when sleep is to be expected. And it goes with that developmental stages and milestones of their life. And that tips into my like OT brain. But then there are the thoughts of never wake a sleeping baby. And there's a time and a place for that when you are building those independent sleep skills. Like if they're sick or they have a tooth erupting, not that they're teething, because teething lasts for years. And it's often just like a Band-Aid, like, oh, they're teething, like whatever. But really, like when the tooth is erupting out of the skin, like they've spiked a fever, they do not feel well. Something is happening.
Yeah.
Let them sleep a little bit extra. Let them rejuvenate, kind of.
Or if they're sick or yeah.
So Bailey, what I'm getting from you is everybody's different,
Yes.
but consistency is probably good from a scheduling, just kind of teaching them structure.
Yeah.
And then it sounds like use your your judgment.
Yeah.
As you said, if there is someone like teething, not teething, but teething or,
Yes.
sick or,
Yeah.
or maybe they're just, that they're kind of off that day. Maybe you can let them sleep a little longer. So it sounds like there's not a cookie cutter answer, and it shouldn't be a cookie cutter answer for that.
Okay.
And really it drives from your like logic and your parenting skill, like that innate feeling of like, oh, okay, this is good. Or maybe I need to push a little bit and work that schedule and say no to something just to prioritize that sleep.
Yeah. So it and it definitely makes sense because I think, again, it's just being able to adjust and not be so rigid, because I think there's also that component as well, is that especially when you're a new parent, you're just like following, like this is what it said, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. But like you said, having some of that, your child as best. So making those adjustments as needed.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I teach my families like live an 80-20 lifestyle. 80% of the time you are following a schedule, you're doing crib naps, you're living life. And then 20% of the time you are traveling or you have a nap on the go. Or if you need to do a car nap or a stroller nap, like 20% of the time is totally fine. And it keeps you spicy. Like it keeps you like on your toes and being able to get back to that schedule.
So what do you tell parents that go, oh, my child just doesn't like to nap?
Oh, then I wonder like what they're doing. and what their environment is, what their nap routine is, what their bedtime routine is. I dive into the whys or the hows and the whats, like what is happening, because most kids do need that nap. Most kids fall into that sleep need of 2.5 to 3 hours a day of naps under the age of 3, I would say.
Yep. Okay.
So my youngest was different than my other two kids. She was one of those kids that, like my other two kids, they knew their nap times. To the T. Oh, it's 3:00. She's gonna go down for a nap.
Yeah.
Boom, right down for a nap. But my youngest took a lot of cat naps before the age of 3. Like throughout, and she slept fine throughout the night, 10, 12 hours. But we put her down. She's out for 15 minutes, and then her eyes snap open, and we're like, nope. She refused. She would take maybe like several cat naps a day. Is that normal or healthy?
It makes me wonder, like, what is she like as a person today?
Yeah.
Is she a lower sleep needs person? Does she have ADHD? Like, how is her neurological system? Because maybe it's just a little bit different, and those were those early signs of like, I don't need as much sleep as others do. The flip side is maybe she lacks those independent skills, and those bricks in her backpack were not as heavy or as impactful to help her sleep for a sleep cycle or 2 during naps.
Yeah. She's always been that child where she didn't want to miss anything. Like she was too scared to go to sleep because there was just too much going on at home.
Yeah.
She wanted to know everybody's business. She, wants to know what mom's doing. So I feel like it's kind of her personality.
Yeah.
And she's also just always on the go. She's hyperactive. So, and I wouldn't doubt like that she probably has some type of ADHD because that's just who she is. But
It's so common.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that you say it, I'm like, she was just one of those kids. Like, and my other two kids were completely different.
Yeah. A little bit of FOMO. Just
yeah, exactly.
Missing out. Yeah.
It's the FOMO for sure. So for sure, you feel like before the age of 3, a nap should be a minimum of an hour to 2 hours. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Absolutely. Minimum 45 minutes.
Yeah. In like multiple naps, right? Okay.
At least 2.
At one point, do they start dropping the nap? Is it after 3 or? How does that happen? How do they just naturally drop their naps or
drop like naps completely?
Yeah, like like usually a child before 3 will have like 2 naps a day, and then they'll probably as they get older drop.
Like, does it happen gradually or does it happen pretty instantly?
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yes. So it happens gradually. I would say, I spoke about those 3-4-month-olds. They take 4 naps, maybe 3 naps a day. And then you get to 6 months and you are taking 2 naps a day. And so really like those 2 naps should be your longer naps, those hour and a half, 2 hours-ish, never going over that 3-hour total. And then between the ages of 13 months and 18 months is when you drop to 1 nap. And then that's where you get your 2.5, 3-hour nap.
In that one session, right?
Yes, in that one get-go. Yeah. And then by the age of 3, 4, it just kind of, naps get harder. They start refusing. They have a hard time as kids turning off their brains. They might sit in their crib quietly and play. And like that's teaching that independent, quiet time. And then they don't have like those behaviors or the changes in the afternoon to tell you that they are tired. And so you're like, oh, maybe you don't need a nap today. Like you are doing fine. Or you move up bedtime to help counteract that lack of nap because they still need sleep. And they might prioritize that 12 hours of nighttime sleep. And so I say it just happens gradually and the kids just kind of let it happen when it happens. But there are those society things and school things of like, okay, daycare is going to push you to take a nap and have that quiet time. And I think every daycare, every state might be different of what they mandate.
Got it.
Oh, I didn't even, did mandate naps?
I have a Texas napper right now that is different from my California napper right now. And it's so interesting.
Yeah.
So interesting. And these kids are like 9 months of age. Both. I have 3 kids right now, and they're 9 months, and 10 months. Yeah. So it's crazy how it comes in waves.
It's different, right?
Yeah. Oh, and 2 of them fell asleep on their first night sitting up because that's just developmentally where they are. So it was wild. I could talk about it all day.
What are one of the biggest issues that you have when parents come to you about naps?
I wouldn't. Naps, the crying. I think you can apply it to naps as well. Like that fear of crying and the fear of making their child upset.
Because they don't want to go to sleep.
They don't want to go to sleep. Yeah. Or they don't know how to go to sleep because their environment is not set up the way that it needs to be. Like, because it is a nap, it's in the middle of the day. Maybe it's not as dark as it should be. Because once we put blackout curtains or double curtains or blankets or black trash bags, like whatever you need to do to get every single piece of light out of that room, helps the body dump melatonin naturally. And that's helps with those bricks in your backpack.
Well, Bailey, one thing that I do remember is just kind of having those things covering your eyes.
Yes.
Would you suggest that as well? If
not for kids.
No.
Maybe if you're older kids for nighttime sleep, but then you should have like their environment set up for success. But for your babies, it's not safe for safe sleep because they could choke and stop breathing and whatnot.
Got it.
But adults, yes.
Yeah. And also doesn't temperature also is a factor?
So we recommend 68 degrees to 72 degrees for sleeping. And then always having a white noise, like getting into their environment, you definitely want it black. And I am talking so black that like your smoke detector, you put a piece of electrical tape over that little light. Because I don't want any light, any part of their room telling them to stop dumping melatonin naturally into their body. And then you have the sound, white noise, pink noise, brown noise. I think normal decibels are 40 to 50. And then a sleep sack, having that safe, comfortable,
that tightness. Yeah.
Yeah. But their arms free so they can roll if they're a roller. We teach that we drop the swaddle at 8 weeks of age just because there's a possibility that they might roll. You never know. And then that temperature, 68 to 72 degrees.
And you know, as we think about them adjusting and crying, that might go with it. As parents, just giving it time for them to make that adjustment. Right? What is too soon to say like this is just not working?
Before 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
I would give consistency 3 to 5 days to make sure that like you're giving it your best shot. And I don't like to make change before 3 to 5 days.
Got it. And then let's go back to the crying piece, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, again, this is kind of making me go back to memory lane here with my daughter because now she's 19. I remember specifically, but this was not a nap time. It was more putting her down. I remember reading somewhere that everything, all of that, right? Make sure it's dark, put her down, and then close the door. And then just stand behind the door and listen and and have her figure it out. I think that was the thing, right?
Yeah.
But then, you know, again, going back to crying, it says, let them cry for like, give it like a minute. Let them cry and then go back in.
Yeah.
And then let her know that you're there. And again, step back out and then let her cry again for another 2 minutes and then go back in.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, because it would just break my heart, it was like, oh my gosh, she's crying. But that actually really worked for me, where it came to a point where it actually worked. And then I remember my cousin-in-law coming to visit and I said, oh, I got to put Vanessa down. And she's like, oh, okay. And I took Vanessa into her room and I like literally walked out in like a minute or two. And she was like, you just put her down? Like she's done for the new year? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, and she's just like, I go, she's not asleep. She's just there. She'll figure it out. She'll go to bed.
Yeah.
And she fell asleep because obviously we had the monitor, and she's like, that was it? Like, that's how you put her down to bed? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And I go, why? Like, how do you do your... She's like, I got to go in and sleep with them until they fall asleep.
Yeah.
And she stays there until they fall asleep, which can, vary. Yeah. And so she was just shocked that like all I needed to do was put her in her room, tell her good night, and which was like the similar routine. And she wasn't like sleepy, but she like eventually she'll go to bed.
She knew that routine and that sleep pressure.
Yeah.
And there's science behind letting your child figure it out between 8 and 12 minutes. Those 8 to 12 minutes allows them to either disconnect. Oh, I cry to get XYZ, mom, dad, caregiver, someone, something, or it allows them to connect a sleep cycle. And so if you can handle it for 8 to 12 minutes, like you are going to build that independence within your child.
Yeah. Like I will tell you, it stuck in my memory because she was just so shocked. It was that easy to put a kid down where she was just like, no, she goes, I'd have to go in. I have to like read. I have to like, and I couldn't leave until they're totally asleep. And then I would have to sneak out.
Oh, it's like, yeah. You build that independence with Vanessa, and that's so beautiful and so impactful. And like, I'm sure it stuck with her for like her life.
Yeah. But no, it was just really interesting. She was just shocked. She just couldn't believe that could happen that way. But when I think about naps, it is a critical one. I think I still kind of go to, I like the idea of just kind of assessing it, kind of like the 80-20, as you mentioned, versus being so rigid.
Yeah. And it gives you that flexibility. And I feel like as a society, like we're just all about like, I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And you can live it. You can do that while sleep training, while having a set schedule.
So we talk about how important like routines are for like naps and bedtime. As parents, do we plan our day around our kids' naps, or do we plan our kids' naps around what we're doing that day? Like, what is important? Is there a balance? That has always been my struggle with naps. Is I always had something different going on every weekend, every day, and it's like, oh, I can't go to this party because Violet has to take a nap. She has to take her nap. So, what do you think about that?
It's so tricky because you definitely want to meet your child where they are developmentally and those wake windows and those nap schedules. But then you also want to have that flexibility and that 80-20 lifestyle. And so I revert back to that 80-20. Like if I can have one nap on the go, but then the next nap, because most of the time naps get in the way when there's more than one. Like when there's 2 of them or 3 of them. And so really like when that 80-20 lifestyle comes into play, when there's multiple naps a day, because you're going to prioritize one nap in the crib, one solid nap, because that's going to get you through wake up to bedtime. So it's a catch-22 of like, you want to do the things, but you just got to prioritize one nap. And when they get to one nap, then you just know like, this afternoon, like time, that 12 to 3 is kind of just rest time. That's our reset time. That's not our go time. We can have activities planned in the morning and then the afternoon. And so it kind of...
And I'm assuming as a parent, depends on the child, right? Like, okay, if I want to do this errand and my kid's not going to take a nap and I have to deal with this kid that's very upset that he didn't take a nap and hangry and, do I want to deal with it? Is it worth it? Right? Yeah. So I guess it really just depends on what you're dealing with, what kind of kid you're dealing with.
There's no cookie cutter answer.
Exactly.
Which is a bummer.
And, I guess it's not to say you can't do that, change the schedule up once in a while, because there are things that come up that you have to do.
Absolutely.
Just not all the time, right? I mean, that's just comes with the parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
So Bailey, I was just kind of calculating kind of the nap minimum, well, not nap minimum, but more around this just overall sleep for a child. And we're looking at, as you mentioned, in the evening, doing kind of a 10 to 12, kind of what they really need.
Yes.
And then, as you mentioned, nap time anywhere from 45 minutes to about 3 hours.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
So if I were to calculate it, we're looking at a little shy of 11 hours to about 15 hours in total
Yep.
that they should get.
Yep.
Right. And so
Yep.
as long as you're within those windows, then that's pretty normal. Even if you're outside of those windows, that's fine. But it
Still normal.
sounds, it sounds like if you're drastically off that, then maybe that's something for you to kind of do kind of a deeper dive.
Yes. When there's a kiddo only getting 8 hours total of nap sleep with bedtime sleep, like, then I'm like, what's happening? I know that they're not getting the restorative sleep that they need to build that brain, build that body. Or if they're getting 18 to 20 hours,
Which
of
is pretty
sleep.
much like the full day.
The whole day.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what else is happening? They're not getting stimulation. They're not learning. How are their milestones? Like, if they're sleeping too much,
Got it.
are they progressing through their developmental milestones as needed or as expected?
No, very good. As we move on from napping, any suggestions on bedtime routines?
Consistency.
Again,
So,
consistency.
yes, it's huge. And living that 80-20 lifestyle, for sure, always. But that consistency of having a routine to set those expectations. We are all about knowing what's next in our schedules. Like, we all have, whether it's on a paper schedule or a mental schedule, you know what's coming next in your life. And so you can prepare for it neurologically. And so from naps, you're just getting ready for that bedtime routine. And we teach having feeds for your younger kids, less than a year old, to be first in your routine, and then bath, then books, then goodnight room, and lay down fully awake.
Got it. Actually, I did have one question.
Yeah.
Going back to naps, because you said just kind of like, how do they get comfortable in getting them there? What do you think about pacifiers and,
sleep
that's
aids?
like
We talked about this in the other episodes. She was like,
yeah.
So,
We label them as sleep props.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Yes, external sleep supports that help your child go to sleep, whether that is the passy or the rocking or the feeding to sleep. They're not getting to that point A awake to point B asleep all on their own. They're needing that external support. So what if that external support is not there in the middle of the night when they're flipping through their sleep cycles? What do?
Mm-hmm.
They cry out for you. They ask for your help. Like, oh, feed me again. Give my passy to me. I can't find my 10th passy in my crib. Like, where is it? So, no passies.
Yeah.
But my OT brain is like, oh, I love a good passy for regulation.
Yeah.
And so if you can, I've had one family do this where if the kiddo bonked their face when they're like learning how to walk and they're just crying uncontrollably, like, help them learn regulation through that suck swallow pattern, through that passy. But the pacifier never comes in the bed. It is a outside of the bedroom tool regulation piece, but it's not a sleep prop.
All right. So
I'm pretty sure some parents just they can't adjust to that, right?
No, I mean my own friends are passy kids.
Yeah.
But I just sleep trained someone last night, and a 10-month-old who fell asleep with passies, and it was her first night to fall asleep without a passy. It was a little bit of a struggle at first, obviously, like we're changing so much, but then she did it within an average range of time. And I got an update this morning that she fell asleep for her nap within 10 minutes, which is a beautiful time without a passy. And so kids are resilient, and it's amazing to witness and be a part of that.
Yeah. It's the same thing like taking the bottle away or
Yes.
weaning off breastfeeding, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Your knowledge is so valuable to us and, as older napping people
Yes.
and to just our audience as well, especially my brother's going to be listening to this for sure.
Oh, a plug for your brother. Start getting his baby. I don't remember if it was a girl or a boy.
Boy, yeah.
Boy. Okay. Start getting your nephew into sunlight as soon as he wakes up. He's so little.
Yeah.
Like helps set his circadian rhythm to get sunlight to his body within 30 minutes of starting your day. And know that like his day might not start till 8, 9 o'clock in the morning because he's going to bed at 8, 9 o'clock at night. Just because that is normal for newborns.
Yeah.
That less than 12 years of age. Or 12 months of age. Goodness, that would be
Good idea.
settled.
What if they live in an area where there's no sunlight? They live in the east side. They just turn on a light?
No, they're like light globes.
Ah,
Yeah, that's what I recommend. Like,
okay.
turn that on and stick your baby in front of there.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll let him know. I'm going to text him right now and tell him.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bailey.
Thank you, baby. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Yeah. Take care.